C'est pour moi un honneur, mais surtout un immense plaisir d'accueillir aujourd'hui Madame Tarja Halonen. Elle était membre du Parti social-démocrate finlandais de 1971 en 2000. Secrétaire parlementaire du Premier ministre en 1974-1975. Membre du Conseil de la ville de Helsinki en 1977-1986. Membre du Parlement en 1979-2000. Ministre des Affaires sociales et de la Santé en 1987, de 1987 à 1990. Ministre de la coopération nordique en 1989 et jusqu'en 1991. Ministre de la Justice en 1990-1991. Ministre des Affaires étrangères 1995-2000. Président de la République de Finlande de 2000 à 2012. Et certainement, j'en oublie encore beaucoup de ses actions. Mais la chose la principale, c'est que Madame Tarja Halonen a été la présidente la plus populaire de Finlande.
So, ladies and gentlemen, now it's English again. So I feel always myself a very old one when I heard what I have done, but I'm already 70 years old and I just got my fifth grandchild, so that's it. Dear friends, it is also a risk to come here after this wonderful atmosphere you had. I was among you applauding for your final declaration. Really, my warm congratulations to you. So it is a great pleasure and honor to be here with you today and share this energy and commitment, that common cause that we have all advancing together. You have worked hard at the NGO forum for 3 days now, and I heard and I know that the results are worth of all these applauses and praise. So thank you for that. So we all know that human rights belong to all, but still the fact is that they are not fully enjoyed by every human being. We have to respect cultures and traditions, but no culture can be based on the violation of human rights. The fulfillment of human rights empowers people, both men and women. You all know it has been very hard sometimes. But the women's rights movement has overcome major political and cultural resistance to putting women on the global agenda. The movement, together with like-minded advocates and civil society organizations around the world, made the key international conferences of 1990s a successful reality, especially Vienna, Cairo, and Beijing. So this marked the beginning of the new paradigm. There are no human rights that would not belong also to women, and there is no equality for women without the full enjoyment of sexual and reproductive health and rights, freedom from violence and right to education and learning. So it's still now we know guaranteeing quality education is a key. So it means, of course, reading and writing and mathematics, but it means also knowing everyone's human rights, including also sexual and reproductive health and rights. Attention is also needed to address safe learning environments, including sanitation. In everyday language said, all schools should have safe toilets for both girls and boys. We must ensure that all kinds of the inequalities are now recognized globally and abolished. We are at a critical moment. We celebrate 20 years of the Beijing Declaration and Platform for Action. We call out the gaps and slow progress in many areas requiring political will and resources. And finally, we are also only a short time away from the final negotiations of the post-2015 development agenda. From the perspective of the high-level task force for the ICPD, of which I'm a co-chair, we are pleased that the Sustainable Development Goals Open Working Group concluded with a stand-alone goal on gender equality and the empowerment of women and girls. We also need an explicit reference to human rights for women and girls, including sexual and reproductive health and rights, among other issues. And I have been very happy listening that how actively you have supported all that. And you have been active also in your working groups here. The teams that you have worked open, they are all important. Every agenda and policy in the world today should take account of the importance of women and girls in securing effective solutions to global problems. Be the poverty eradication, strengthening the rule of law, ending inequalities and inequities, and so forth. Investing in but one thing what I want to repeat and repeating is that investing in women is a very smart investment. We have strong evidence today to show what the positive impact of women's roles and contribution is and could be across all dimensions, the social, economic, and environmental of sustainable development. There is no solution without us. And you are experts to tell. Still, gender discrimination is deeply rooted in our societies. Even in the halls of the United Nations, we still hear the regressive views about women and girls that challenge agreements made 20 years ago. Global agreements, national legislation, and good and effective rule of law are necessary. But role of NGOs will also be increasingly important in the future to make human rights a reality for all. So your work is not ended here. It will continue, and I also wish the great success for you, and I will also promise to be with you. Because we know young people, in particular adolescent girls, still lack access to comprehensive sexual education, which could give them basic tools to protect themselves, for instance, from unwanted and unintended pregnancy, HIV, AIDS, abuse and sexual harassment, and to plan their lives. Women and girls also continue to die in the absence of access to safe legal abortion. So I could continue this for an hour. And this has to change. International human rights principles and standards have to become reality in everyday life. They have to guarantee in practice the protection and fulfillment of all human rights. It is very positive that the new human rights mechanisms, such as the Universal Periodic Review, has made every state accountable for the promotion and protection of human rights. The international community missed the 2005 deadline for fulfilling a basic minimum commitment adopted during the Beijing+5 review, namely revoking gender discriminatory legislation and recognizing that women's rights are human rights. The Beijing affirmation of women's right to make their own decisions over their sexuality without any form of discrimination, coercion, or violence is also still not achieved. Then, the international community needs to address meaningfully and with increased resources and strong accountability systems all the critical barriers that this Beijing review process is revealing, from unpaid care work and violence against women to equal pay for equal work and non-discrimination and sexual harassment in workplace, among all the others you mentioned. When we want to get human progress and development right, we cannot allow decision makers to pick and choose which rights are convenient to stand up for and which are just too controversial. All human rights for all women and girls must be protected, without distinction of any kind. The needs and rights of all women and girls must be taken into account in public policy making, including domestic workers and migrants, regardless of their status, and including all low-income women in the service sector, whether they are prostitutes, live with HIV, AIDS, or disabilities, and regardless of their sexual orientation or gender identity, when we say all, we mean all. Ladies and gentlemen, when discussing women's rights and gender equality more broadly, the role of men and boys must not be underestimated. They have a crucial role to play in women's empowerment, and I warmly welcome different ways in which to involve men as even more active partners in this collaboration. The He for She campaign, which was launched by the UN Women in New York in September, was a great idea to create a vast solidarity movement in which men across the globe commit to take action against all forms of violence and discrimination faced by women and men. So, let's do it. I encourage you all here, all men, that you can visit the website he4she.org and sign up. I normally say it takes only a few seconds. It's not painful. It doesn't cost anything, but it can it can change the world. Okay, so go on. So, ladies and gentlemen, here in Geneva, in New York, and in your capitals, you know that all the governments of member countries, they are very worried about that, whether they can get concerning their national economics 3 A's. That's good. Economics is a good pace. But we could also encourage our governments that they could get the other 3 A's also: act, advance, achieve women's rights, and put them also as a target. I do hope that member states will pay careful attention to your recommendations and demands as we move forward on the post-2015 agenda discussions. I expect the same of the European Union in its upcoming Council conclusions and common positions for the new agenda and for the successful conclusion to the Beijing+20 process. I truly hope that our collective demands and voices are heard to fulfill the Beijing process. So let's meet, we do it. Thank you very much.